Hello and welcome to Katrina's Creations. This is episode 164 and it has been a really busy week and I have lots of goodies to share of things I've gotten, so that part's exciting too. I do not have a finished object. I really wanted to have a finished object, but I did not. I had a major mess, which I'll explain. Let me show you my problem. This is the cardigan that I was frantically trying to finish. I told Pam Phillips, she and I were writing back and forth because we both made the same pattern. Well, she finished hers, I have not. I told her, I said, I'm on the forever sleeves. I feel like I am never going to finish the sleeves, especially when I do what I did this week. Here we have one sleeve. Now, if you remember, I was making them consecutively. I was doing one and then doing the other, so I had them just both done at the same time. Not so much anymore. One of these sleeves is not like the other. Yes, I ripped back completely on this particular sleeve because I was doing this portion and I happened to realize, I'm narrowing it down. I'm decreasing when I came off of where the seam is, I was decreasing one cluster of stitches per row because I do not want something that is like a bell sleeve. I want something snug at the wrists, or at least, a small gap. I don't want something hanging way down because I'll drag it through anything and it'll end up sopping wet all the time. So this was getting narrower. This was gradually ruffling and getting bigger the further I went out. And I realized when I went back and counted my stitch clusters, because these are in clusters, it's called the sedge stitch. So each cluster is a single crochet, a half double crochet, and then a double crochet. And then you skip 2 stitches and you do the same. So each cluster, on the one sleeve, I started with 28. This one I started with 33, which is a total of, if I'm looking at this, it's about 3 inches difference on one sleeve compared to the other. That wasn't going to work. And I thought I had just made the mistake partway back. Every time I sit down to podcast, the phone rings. It hasn't rung all day. It's rung twice in the last 5 minutes. So as I was saying before, I kept thinking I could rip back just a few rows, but the more I counted, the more I realized that I had started off wrong completely. So I'm back to the beginning on this sleeve. And I've been working a lot on this week, but you'd never know it now because I undid most of what I did. So eventually I hope to finish this sweater before winter ends, but yeah, anyway. That sleeve looks great. It's just the other one, not so much. So that is project number 1. Project number 2 is my cabled sweater. Now, I have not worked on the front of it at all this week because I've had a late night at work one night and we just had a lot going on here at home. Plus, I've been trying to work on the sweater and then ripping out the sleeve. So I did take this a little bit and get a chance to do a little bit of work on just the back at this point because it's kind of mindless. It's just knitting one side and purling the other to have stockinette. So you can see where I was at last week. So I've done about 2 inches, maybe a little bit more. And I am into of course I'm mid-row to be able to show this to you, but I am partway up the sleeve. The sleeve opening is 9 inches for the size that I'm making, and I am about between 4 and 5 inches right now. You can see right here. So I have 4 to 5 inches more to go, probably about 4 inches to go. And then I will be working on the shoulders. So, and this is only the second skein of yarn, and I have a good bit left. So I'm thinking I will probably get the back done with just 2 skeins of yarn. The front with all of the cabling, it's going to take maybe 2.5. So I'm really glad I bought those 2 extra skeins because I think I'm going to probably need them because I still have sleeves to do with this, and I do want long sleeves with making that. Now the third thing I've been working on, and that's just been very, very lightly working on, is another one of the scarves that is the virus shawl pattern. And this one is a rosy red, and it's shown up pretty true to color. It's kind of a cranberry color, like between a cranberry and, yeah, I'd say cranberry. Yeah, cranberry. I started to say raspberry, but no, it's definitely a cranberry color. So I'm hoping to get this done for Christmas is the goal, but here it is so far. And I found that the right size for this is 5 of these center repeats where the little, you can see these like the double holes here, the yarn overs. I find that if I repeat 5 of those, that makes it about the right length. So yeah, I'm just starting the second one, but I'm hoping to get that done this week before Christmas. So those are my works in progress. Now, what I am wearing today, if you recognize this, if you've been watching for a while, this is my Flax Light. This was made with a hand-dyed yarn and with Hopium, which is now out of business. But anyway, they were similar to ice yarns, very, very similar. And Ice Yarns is having a super, super sale, which I will talk about at the end of the podcast in the sale section. But this is really, really comfortable. And I did notice that the neckline was a little wider than what I like because I don't want my straps to show. So I did put a crochet edge right along the edge here. Let's see if I can get this closer so you can, there you can kind of see it. It's just a little kind of a shell edge to it, just to make it a little bit snugger up around my neck because I don't like low cut sweaters where I have to make sure nobody sees my business going on. And it is warm and it's snuggly, which is great because it's chilly today. We've had snow a couple times this week. Nothing substantial, just little dustings and enough to make it icy and yicky to be out in. But yeah, so anyway, that's what's been going on with me this week. And this pattern, by the way, is a free pattern over at Tin Can Knits. You can download this pattern. They also have another one. This is meant for fingering or sport weight yarn, but they have another one that is free called the Flax Sweater, and that is for worsted weight. So if you're interested in making a sweater and you don't want to go buy a pattern, and this you can modify a little bit and add and take away from whatever. You could even make it short sleeved if you wanted to do it in cotton. But it's a really simple pattern to do. And like I said, it's free. Can't go wrong. So yeah, go over and check that out. Now let's take a look at what you all have been making this week. Now, those of you who have been watching my daily Vlogmas since December 1st, and every day I've been doing some unboxing of a yarn advent calendar that I swapped with Karen of SSK Yarners. This past week, I showed my nativity scene, and some of you actually were asking a little bit about it or making comments about it, so I'm going to tell you the story behind it. Actually, I'm going to tell you the story about a couple of things that you made mention of. But the nativity scene was made by my grandmother when she was in her 80s. She was living at an assisted living complex, I guess you would call it. And she had her own apartment and everything, but she was taking a ceramics class. And I was over visiting her, and she said, well, I want you to see something in the showcase that I made. I was like, oh, okay. So I went over and I looked in the showcase, and here was this beautiful nativity scene. And she says, it's yours. I said, it's mine. She says, I made it for you, which was really, it meant so much to me because I really wanted a nativity scene. And my mother has a gorgeous one that she made back in the 60s. I remember it as long as I can remember. So I think it was made when I was maybe a baby or a toddler. I mean, she's had it for years. Now hers, she painted, and it's got lots of detail, like the faces and everything are actually painted out, and it's in different colors. So my mother made that, and I always wanted one too. But I don't do ceramics. My grandmother made this for me, and it would have been made for me probably, I'm thinking it would have been it had to have been the early 90s, somewhere between the early to mid 1990s. And my grandmother passed away in 2001 at the age of 92. So I'm going to show you a close-up of the nativity, or at least one of the pieces of it, because it's not solid white. It has like a blue wash over it, so it almost has a marbled look. So with the better lighting in here, because I am in my kitchen, I will show it to you. So I brought baby Jesus because this one you can really see a lot of the blue wash that's on it. So I'm holding him up. So if you look in the crevices, there's like a blue that she washed over top. And the baby comes out, which is kind of neat because you can leave the manger empty until Christmas Eve and then put the baby back in. But if you look close, you can kind of see the blue tint to it. So yeah, it ends up looking almost marbled. So has a special meaning to me, like I said, because my grandmother made it for me. So the other thing that was in, some of you made comments about my little s'mores Christmas tree. I got that years ago from a company called ABC Industries, I think. It's very similar to Collections Incorporated, I think, or Lakeside. It was one of those companies similar to that, but I've had that for 20-some years, something like that. It's been a long time that I've had that. And then there's my regular Christmas tree. Those of you who have been watching the podcast for a while probably know the story of my Christmas tree. It doesn't show up real well in the video because the lights on the Christmas tree are on, but I have a black Christmas tree. Not intentionally. We are not in mourning, but that's what happens when you go bargain hunting and brave the hordes of people the day after Christmas. Prior to buying this Christmas tree, I had kind of a shrubby looking tree. It was more primitive looking. It wasn't like cone shaped. And my family kept teasing me about the look of the tree. They called it Charlie Brown's Christmas tree. They said it looked scrawny. And so they made fun of it for quite a few years. So finally I decided I will go get a regular Christmas tree. But I didn't want to pay full price. So I waited till the day after Christmas, ran to Walmart, also known as Wally's World, ran to Walmart, fought off all the other people looking for bargains, and I was looking for a specific size because our living room, I don't want the whole living room taken up with the tree. So I wanted something about 6 feet tall, but fairly narrow, like 2.5 to 3 feet wide. I was thinking dimensions. I was not thinking color. I thought a Christmas tree is a Christmas tree. It's either green or white. Never thought about it coming in any other color. Although I did see one that was brown one time. Why someone would want a tree that looks like it's dead, all before you get even started, I don't know. But I have seen one that looked like a dead Christmas tree one time. But anyway, I just grabbed this tree. It was pre-lit, which was even better. And I threw it down the basement, and I didn't give it another thought till the following Christmas when I opened up the box and went, it's black. I have a black Christmas tree. It looks like we're in mourning or we got caught in a wildfire. It's not real good. It looks bad. So, yeah, anyway, that's my story, and I'm too cheap to go out and get another one. So I'm stuck with this black Christmas tree until I can figure out what else to do with it. We've had it for, I guess, 3 years now. Maybe 3, maybe 4 years, somewhere around there. We've had it for a few years. The only redeeming quality on it is it does have lots and lots, I mean like 200 or more lights on the thing. So when you turn it on, it kind of blinds you to the fact that it really is not a green Christmas tree. So it's technically a Florida black pine, but I really didn't expect a Florida black pine to literally be a black Christmas tree. So anyway, that's my sad little saga of my weird looking Christmas tree. Now before I get to the holiday along and my huge acquisition pile this week, I wanted to talk about a book I just read. Every so often I do a little book review when I finish something that I really enjoyed. And I tried out a new author, and I want to read the other books that she's put out because this was really good. She is a Christian author, which I didn't realize until toward the very end when I happened to notice who the publisher was. My computer made a weird noise. So anyway, the book is called The Sea Keeper's Daughters, and it is by a lady named Lisa Wingate. And the book is part of a series, which I also didn't know until after I read the book. So they are all standalone, but you could read them together. But anyway, this is the third book in the series, and the story starts out in Michigan, where a lady owns a restaurant that is going under quickly because the locals are giving her a hard time about keeping it open. So she returns to her roots on the Outer Banks, which would be North Carolina. And she goes back down there, actually to Manteo Island, which is where the lost colony of Roanoke was at. And while she's there, her family has owned this grand hotel for about 100 years. And the hotel is dilapidated and falling apart, and her thought is she's going to go down there, clear out anything of value, sell the place, and use the money to save her restaurant up in Michigan. But along the way, once she gets back to her roots back at this hotel, her stepfather is still there, and she learns things about her mother and her stepfather that she never knew. She learns, as she searches through the house, she finds different family treasures and starts following a mystery that's going on in the family. She finds out that her grandmother had a twin sister that she never knew about, and the twin sister worked for Roosevelt during the Depression. And this part of the story is true, that the Roosevelt administration during the Depression, to give people jobs, had people go into the Appalachian Mountains, which is a mountain chain on the East Coast, and talk to the people there and learn about them and record some of their stories and photographs, things like that. And so this woman was part of that group, and so part of the story follows some of these stories that she has talked to about, with some of the people that live in the Appalachian area. So it's really, really interesting. It has a twist at the end that I didn't see coming. And it was very interesting, and I learned about just some history stuff that I didn't know about before. I really enjoy historical fiction, and so when I find out that there's elements in a story that are true, I do a little research off to the side to learn a little bit more about it anyway. So, yeah, it was a very interesting story. Like I said, it is called The Seakeeper's Daughters by Lisa Wingate. Now, in our holiday along, which I am hosting with Sara Oliver of The Lass Who Knits, go over and check out her podcast. She is doing Team Knit this week, so if you want to see Team Knit's progress, make sure you go over and check out her podcast. I will be doing Team Crochet this week. Team Crochet did 10,000 yards off of the hooks this week. And so for every yard, it equals a certain number of miles. So, and we are traveling from Glasgow, Scotland, which is where Sara lives, to where I live in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And we are now halfway through our flight to San Francisco. So we left Japan week before last, and we are now headed to San Francisco. So whether we will make it across the United States by the end of the year, I don't know. The holiday along has been running from October 1st. It will run until December 31st. You can enter it over in our Facebook group, which is the Holiday Along 2019. And you can enter crochet or knit or both. Really doesn't matter. And just tell us a little bit about the project. It has to be something that you have completed during that time frame. Tell us how many yards so we can count it towards our travel, because we are doing around the world in 80 plus days to see how fast we can, the two teams can get to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. That part of the holiday along, there's no prize for it. That's just for fun. But please put in your project information what the name of the pattern was and what type of yarn you used. That way, when I show all the patterns and all the finished projects, if people see something they like, they know where to get that pattern. So at the end of December, actually be the beginning of January, I will show all of December's projects. There have already been the projects for October have already been seen, and November have been seen. If you missed them, you can click the little link right here, which is the little letter I, and that will take you over to those two if you want to go check out all the projects. We are up to over 300 projects at this point, so you guys have been really, really busy. Now it's time for acquisitions and to show you what I got this week. It has been amazing. First off, my supervisor gave me something for my birthday. My birthday was November 27th, and some of you wished me happy birthday over on the Facebook page, and I appreciate that. And she had to wait because the thing she bought for me was ordered, so it just came in. First, she got me some tea, which I am going to try as soon as I finish this podcast. Sugar cookie sleigh ride. How can you go wrong? It's got sugar in it. Anyway, we got that. But look at this adorable little mug. She said she saw it and thought of me. It is a llama, and he is knitting. There's one on each side. Is that absolutely adorable? I love it because I like llamas, and if you want a cute children's story series to read to your children, Llama is very cute, and it looks like Llama. Yeah, there's a children's series out called Llama, and there's Llama is a baby llama and his llama mama, and he gets into all kinds of trouble and learns little moral stories along the way about behaving and sharing and being kind and all that kind of stuff. They're just adorable little books. So I got those from my supervisor. Then Sherry Caffian, who is a viewer here, sent me a really pretty Christmas card. And then she sent me a crocheted bell. And it's like 3-dimensional. I mean, it could open up. And then she made these 2 stitch markers and told me this was her first attempt at making stitch markers. I was like, seriously? These look like they're professionally done. I mean, she did a really good job. So let's see if I can hold these up so you can see them really well. This one is kind of a little moonstone kind of color. And they both say on it, made with love. And the second one also has the little heart that says made with love. And it has a sparkly, it looks black, but it's actually a sparkly blue. So, yes, thank you, Sherry. So that was exciting. And then my former coworker, she substitutes now, but she and I used to work together all the time. She made me this really neat wall hanging. These are Christmas cards, and they're tied together through ball mason jars. And then she's written on the back, Merry Christmas and the year, and then tied it with a string. And they're hot glued in the back just to keep the lid. This is the lid part. They're detachable. So that just keeps those from coming out. So, but look how cool that is. So that is from Cindy. So thank you, Cindy. And somebody at church was showing me a neat idea of what to do with some of your leftover Christmas cards, especially those that have special meaning to you. She's a home ec teacher. And she showed me, she took a Christmas card and then used a hole punch. You would have to start in the center and then do all four sides and then measure so you have even spacing all the way around. And then you do a double crochet or a shell stitch into all of the holes all the way across. And it makes almost like a picture frame. You could put like a ring at the top, like a little, like the metal rings or the little plastic rings that you could buy. So you could either hang them on a tree or you could hang them for display. So I thought that was a really neat idea. And the one she made looked really, really pretty. And she was going to teach her class how to do some basic crocheting by doing this. So, yeah, if you want to save some of your Christmas cards, there you go. Or you could make one of these. So, now I got a knit crate this week. And in the knit crate, there were 2 skeins of this, which is Vitalana, which is Knit Crate's brand, and the colorway is called Mitten. It's kind of a rose color. It's a white and a rose, and it is braided. You can kind of see the braiding texture there. I got some yarn just like this a couple months ago in Knit Crate, but it was in a green. So if any of you got the green that was in this, out of curiosity, I wonder if it would match the green that was from a couple months ago. Just a thought. Anyway. Yeah, it is 48% merino wool, 20% baby alpaca, and 32% organic cotton, and it is a DK weight. And there's 274 yards or 250 meters per skein. So there we go. It's really, really soft. And I think it's because it's got cotton, and it's got alpaca, you could wear it in the summertime probably. Because it's a lightweight, it's very lofty feeling. And then also in the box was a lapel pin that I will not attach to a project bag this time because I lost the last one they sent me. And then they give you some patterns that can go along with it. And this is the pattern in crochet, which is a scarf. And then in knitting, they had leg warmers. Here you can see the green. This is the green here. And then this is a purpley color. And then this one over here is the one I got. You do have a choice over what colors you get as well. So here are the 4 patterns that they sent this month. So you have this pattern here, which is the scarf. And then you have down here, which are knitted leg warmers. And then the sock box comes with 2 patterns as well, but you get this magazine no matter which box you get. So this is the crochet socks, and over here is the knitted socks. So, yeah, so that was my knit crate box. So that came in. And then we have the yarn advent calendar for this week. And I have this skein, which is all different colors of like silvers and grays and cream. And it is a 70% superwash merino, 20% kid mohair, and 10% silk. So you can imagine this one is really, really soft. It is single spun, so it's not plied. And this is by Shalimar Yarns, which I've heard of before. I've never tried. It's called Merlin's Beard. So that's one. And then there's this one, which is from Karen's shop, SSK Yarners. This is her glitz base, and it has like gold spark. There you can see some of it. It has gold sparkle in it. And it is called French Vanilla, which is very appropriate because that's what it looks like, French vanilla ice cream. And it is 75% superwash, 20% nylon, 5% stellina, which is the sparkly stuff. So, yeah, it's really, really pretty. If you would like to check out Karen's shop, you can do so over at sskyarners.etsy.com. And she is offering a special sale. It is 15% off between now and Christmas. You do need to use the coupon code ADVENT19. And the 15% off is only for you guys that are viewers. Normally she doesn't give this discount. So, yes, take advantage of it while it's there. So that's over at sskyarners.etsy.com. I will put a link down below to get over to her shop so you can check it out. So then she also sent me Leading Man Fiber Arts, and this is monologue base. It's called Spiced Apple Cider, which it looks just like spiced apple cider. It's really pretty. These are also this is also a single, and it is 65% superwash merino, 20% silk, 15% yak, which is really, really soft too. A lot of really, really soft yarns in here. Then we have Cozy Posy in Frosted Cranberry, which is 75% superwash, 20% nylon, 5% stellina. There is a faint sparkly silver in here. It's not as sparkly as Karen's, but there are some sparkles in here. And it's a pretty, kind of a cranberry color. In fact, it's called Frosted Cranberry, so that would make sense. Then we have Claudia's hand-painted yarn, Mudslide. And if you check the SSK Yarners podcast, a few years ago, Karen and 2 other ladies that used to be part of the podcast went and actually watched Claudia do the dyeing here. So you can go actually watch them go through the dyeing process. It was really interesting. And it's 55% silk, 45% merino. And then she sent me this cute little stitch marker, which is a standing mixer. Then there is Bison. That's the name of the color, and this is Sweet Georgia Tough Love Sock, which is funny because I sent Karen some of my Tough Love sock yarn. I bought a mini pack, and there was 5 different blue colors in there, and so I had leftovers from all of those. So, yeah, this is the same sock base, but it's called Bison, which is a brown, and it's an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. Then there was another sock blank, and this again is from Karen's Dye Studio, so SSK Yarners again, and this is a butterfly, and you unravel it. It is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, so this will be really pretty. And if you wonder what the back of them look like, I'll turn it around for you. That's what the back looks like. So, there's a lot of, the green has a lot of like detail to it. So, yeah. So, and it's really, really soft too. So, and there was another stitch marker that's a spoon, but I'm not sure where it went. Not sure where that went. It's around here someplace. I think I sat something on top of it. So that is my acquisitions for this week. Now it's time for... Now in our Come and Get It section, we have a lot of end of year stuff going on between now and next week. So there's some sales this week. Next week I'm thinking there will be some really big ones, but there's some pretty good ones going on this week. Okay, Annie's has, and I saw this, I thought it was really cool. Wish they had one for knitting too. They have one only for crochet. It's called In a Weekend Crochet Calendar. It is a regular calendar, but there are 12 different patterns for projects that are crocheted that you can do in a weekend. So for each month you get a pattern, and it's $8.99. So to get a calendar and 12 patterns, that's a pretty good deal. So that is Annie's. It's called In a Weekend Crochet Calendar. Like I said, I looked for one in the knitting because I thought maybe they would have one for that too, but they don't. They only have the crochet one. But they do have an interesting book called Colorway, and it shows you different projects and how to mix color together to, make it kind of pop a little bit. And that is on sale for $5.99. Bluprint is offering a really good sale this week. 25% off of your order. You do need to use the coupon code HOLIDAY25. But they are also offering 50% off of their knit and crochet scarf and cowl kits. So if you want to make a scarf or a cowl, right now's the time to do it because you could get 50% off. You don't need a coupon code. They've already been marked down. And I'm not sure if the 25% off on top of that will work or not with your order, but it's worth a try. But anyway, their scarf and cowl kits for both knit and crochet are 50% off right now. Consumer Crafts is offering, as always, their sugar and cream yarn, which is your dishcloth yarn, for $1.97. Create for Less is having a clearance on 14-inch single point needles. So they're not the interchangeable, they're not the circular needles, they're just the plain straight needles, and they're size 4 and they're 14-inch, but they've got them for $1.99. So if you want some extra sets of needles in size 4, I don't know why they just have it in one size, but anyway, just size 4, they have them for $1.99. But they also have Mary Maxim Scrub It, which is the dishcloth that has like the rough texture to it for making scrubbiness on your dishcloths. They have that on sale for $2.29, and they have it in several different colors. Some of the different colors are a little bit different in price, but they start at $2.29. The Dollar Tree has wool yarn, which I have bought some of the gray, and I showed that to you the other week. But it's $1 a skein, but they also have Deborah Norville, and they have some premium yarn, which is a cotton, which is pretty cheap for your dishcloths. So anyway, that's over at the Dollar Tree. You do need to buy a case of it. So in the case of the gray and the white wool, that's only 6 skeins. So, but some of the yarns, they do require you to buy a case, and it might be 50-some skeins. So just make sure you read it close before you order. Ice Yarns is having an absolutely amazing sale. It runs until, I think, the end of the year, up to 90% off. I saw some sock yarn over there that I was looking at, I'm still looking at, because some of it was 62 cents per skein. You do need to buy, like, if they come in lots of 6 or lots of 8, something like that. But that's pretty cheap. Even when you figure your shipping in on top of it, it's still cheaper than buying it someplace else. So they do ship pretty quickly. It comes from Turkey. There is a ton of yarn over there to look at. So go over and check them out, but up to 90% off. Yeah. So anyway, link to that one is below. The link to all of these sales are down below. Knit Crate, if you want to give them a try and get 20% off your first box, you can do so. You do need to use a coupon code KCreations20 to do that. Knit Picks is also having a huge sale right now. Knit Picks is having you spend $75 and use the coupon code PRESENT. You can get 2 skeins of Felici yarn for free. Felici is sock yarn. Sometimes it is self-striping sock yarn, but it is sock yarn. They also have their Brava Premium Acrylic on sale right now for $1.29 or $1.39 up to $1.99. That's like really, really cheap for acrylic yarn. They also have a neat thing. If you spend $50, you can get a knitter's journal for free. You do need to use a coupon code JOURNAL. And what it is to keep track of all of your knitting projects, but I'm sure you could use it for crochet too. I think it would work interchangeably. And they are having a holiday sale on holiday-themed accessories, books, and more. You just have to click over there. They've already marked everything down, but there's a sale on everything holiday-related. And they are having a sale on their luxury yarns, up to 40% off on their luxury yarn sale. So that is Knit Picks, which also is We Crochet. And I think there's a free magazine you can sign up for if you go to We Crochet. So yeah, Knit Picks is stepping it up a little bit and not just including knitters. They're including some crocheters in there. So yeah, lots of sales going on over there. So check them out. Leisure Arts has a book called Big Book of Crochet Accessories. It's on sale for $9.99. There are 46 different projects of hats, gloves, scarves, socks, totes, a shrug, and a shawl. So there's all kinds of mix mash, and I think there's some children's projects in there too for $9.99. And in the knitting section, they have Best of Knit Accessories. There are 40 projects in there, and it is also $9.99. Lion Brand, until the end of this month, is offering 40% off of yarn and kits. Well, kits, which would mean the yarn and the kit together. You do have to use the coupon code DEC40 to get that 40%. So that is it for this week. And on Wednesday, it will be Christmas Day. So I want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas. And please just keep in mind that Christmas isn't all about the things that we get, but the greatest gift that was ever given to us, which is the Lord Jesus Christ. So I hope you have a wonderful family time with your Christmas, and I will see you again next week. Bye, everybody. In our Come and Get It section this week, Annie's is having, they're having a sort of sale, but I found something I thought was kind of interesting. It's called In a Weekend Crochet Calendar. And what it is it's a regular calendar, but for each month, there is a pattern that you can complete in a weekend. So it is $8.99, and you get 12 patterns plus a calendar. They also have a book. I looked for one in crochet or in knit that would be just like the crochet calendar, but they didn't have one in knitting. But they did have a book called Colorway, and it's for $5.99. The calendar was $8.99. The colorway is $5.99, and it is showing how to mix and marry different colors together to get the best results. So that is Annie's. Over at Bluprint, they are having a very nice sale right now, 25% off of your order. You do need to use the coupon code HOLIDAY25. And if you would like to make a scarf or a cowl, they are offering their scarves and cowl kits for both knit and crochet for 50% off right now. You don't need a coupon code. They've already been marked down. So knitting and crochet scarf and cowl kits are on sale, 50% off. Consumer Crafts has their regular sugar and cream yarn, which is your dishcloth yarn, and it is for $1.97. That is their regular price. Create for Less has a clearance going on, or in their clearance section right now. They have Mary Maxim Scrub It yarn, which is the stuff you put for making scrubby dishcloths. It has like a rough texture. The prices for that are starting at $2.29. Ice Yarn. Ice Yarn is having an unbelievable sale. I talked about it earlier in the podcast. They are having their year-end sale, and they are offering up to 90% off. Yes, 90% off. There are some skeins of yarn there for 30-some cents. You do need to order. Usually it's a group of like 6 to 8 skeins, somewhere in that ballpark. It's not huge numbers. But they're 32 cents. They start at 32 cents a skein, and they go up from there. So, yeah, 90% off. That's definitely worth checking out. Knit Crates, you can get 20% off of your very first subscription box. You do need to use the coupon code KCreations20 in order to get that. Knit Picks, which is also We Crochet, has a bunch of sales going on. They are having a luxury yarn sale for 40% off. You don't have to use a coupon code. They've already been marked down. You just click on when you get over to their website, just click on the link that says luxury yarn sale. It'll take you over there. They're also offering 2 free skeins of Felici yarn. Now, Felici is a sock yarn. Sometimes it's self-striping. It's really pretty. They're offering 2 free skeins with the purchase of $75 or more. You do need to use a coupon code PRESENT to get that. They're also offering, with a $50 or more purchase, a free knitting journal, which is like to keep track of your projects. I'm sure you can use it for crochet too. You do need to use a coupon code for that journal. Now, they are also having a sale on their Brava Premium Acrylic yarn right now. It is starting at $1.39 to $1.99. And they are having a holiday sale on holiday-themed accessories, books, and more. So you can, once you get over to the website, you can click on any of the links that pop up over there, and they'll take you over to that particular sale. So a bunch of them going on over there. Leisure Arts has a couple of books that I thought were interesting. They have the big book of crochet accessories for $9.99. It is 46 different hats, gloves, scarves, socks, a tote, shrugs, and a shawl. So there's a whole bunch of different little small projects over there. And likewise, their knitting section also has the best of knit accessories. That is $9.99. And there are 40 projects offered there as well. And then lastly, well, no, not lastly, Lion Brand offers 40% off of their kits and yarns until the end of the month. And you do need to use a coupon code DEC40 in order to get that discount. So that's on their kits and yarn, and that's 40% off at Lion Brand. And last in the sales, all of the items in my Etsy shop, which would be my yarn and project bags, are on sale right now. They have already been marked down, so you do not need a coupon code. And there is also a sale running in my merchandise over on Teespring, which would be mugs, tote bags, and shirts, like sweatshirts and t-shirts, things like that that have knitting and crochet sayings on them. Those are running over on Teespring, and you do need to use a coupon code to get a discount. I will put that down below here, what that discount is, because I don't remember it right off the top of my head. But that is running until the end of the month. So if you want to take advantage of any of those, you can do so. So that is it for this week. And on Wednesday, it will be Christmas Day, so I want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas, and please just keep in mind that Christmas isn't all about the things that we get, but the greatest gift that was ever given to us, which is the Lord Jesus Christ. So I hope you have a wonderful family time with your Christmas, and I will see you again next week. Bye, everybody.